Excuse me. Jeff, what's going on, man? Yep, I'm here. Waiting on you. Oh, not coming. Got it. Okay. Yep, I'm sure you told me. Well, sometimes when you talk, I don't listen. Right. Yeah, I know. Okay. Nope, I got it covered. No problem. Hey, where are you anyway? Really? That sounds interesting. Cool. Do you want me to tell everybody? You don't want me to tell everybody where you are. Okay, got it. Nope, not a word. No, I'm not recording. Absolutely not. Nope. Okay. All right. Yep, I'll let you know how it goes. Safe flight. See you, buddy. Bye. I'm sorry, folks. Jeff ain't coming this week. Welcome to J&J On Jazz, or really just J on Jazz, powered by Jazzwire. I'm not supposed to tell you that Jeff is actually attending a saxophone and hairdryer advocacy conference in Manitoba, Canada. So we can't wait for him to be back next week. You're stuck with me. So since it's just me, I think what we'll do is we'll talk about something that I've been working on lately, trying to work on with some intentionality. This is the result of many years of learning lots of solos from my heroes. Anybody that knows me, when I'm teaching adult learners or college students or beginners, I'm very big on telling students, when you learn a solo from a recording, you should try to sound exactly like the person whose solo it is that you're learning. So if I'm learning a Miles Davis solo on my trumpet, I want to be able to channel the sound of Miles Davis. I could sit here and demonstrate me playing along with a whole bunch of solos. I don't think that's very beneficial for you. Why would you want to hear me try to sound like Miles on a Miles solo when you could just listen to Miles? But what I'd like to try to show you today is how I work in my practicing to incorporate the elements of these players' style into my own improvisations. That's really challenging for me, and it's something that doesn't come as naturally for me. So I thought I would try to demonstrate that. So to do that, I've chosen the tune Lady Bird as sort of our vehicle for that. And I'm just going to play a couple of different solos, couple of choruses, and I'm going to identify for you all at the beginning of each one which player I'm going to try to channel. I'm going to play my own improvisations. I'm not going to try to play licks or lines that I think of when it comes to those players. I'm just going to try to put myself in the mindset of those folks' sound and time feel and style. So let's give that a try. Put on my big nerdy studio headphones for this. And here we go. The first player I'm going to use, let's do Chet Baker. I've been listening to a lot of Chet Baker lately, particularly on this tune, Lady Bird. So I'm going to use some real subtle terminal vibrato, maybe more than I normally would. I'm going to try to have kind of a light feel to my playing. Chet played really great lines, great bebop lines, so I'm going to make sure I'm doing that. And he liked to scoop into notes occasionally and had a little bit more of a vocal sensibility to his sound. So let's give that a try. Here's my attempt to sound like Chet Baker on Lady Bird. All right, so I don't know if I got it or not, but I was really just trying to put myself in the mold and mindset of Chet Baker, somebody who's playing I actually only in the last few years have started to dig into. So I always find this a good exercise to do. For a couple of choruses, I'm usually pretty good at being able to stay in that player's vibe. After a few choruses, it's easy to fall into just playing like yourself, which is actually kind of cool, right? So let's try another one. Let's see. Let's do Freddie Hubbard. I actually don't know if there's a recording of Freddie Hubbard playing Lady Bird or not, so I really don't have a solo that I've learned to as a basis for this. But I've spent a lot of time with Freddie's playing, so I'm going to try to play a little bit stronger, maybe put some more air through the horn. I'm going to try to play a little bit more accented when it comes to playing my eighth note lines, particularly my descending lines. My terminal vibrato is going to be a little bit more exaggerated, and I'm also going to use a lot more articulation when I play ascending triplets, something that Freddie tended to do. So let's give this a shot. Here's my dollar store impersonation of Freddie Hubbard. I don't know, dollar store Freddie Hubbard, maybe? But I certainly tried to play with a little bit more energy, or a lot more energy. We always think of Freddie's playing as being really aggressive. He certainly had a sensitive side, but he was just an amazing technician on the horn. So tried to play with a lot more body in my sound, and maybe some just general more guts. All right, so let's do one more. Let's see. Let's try this. Let's try Nat Adderley. Okay, so I don't have a cornet handy. I have one. It's upstairs. Nat's a player that I've spent a lot of time listening to, but admittedly, I've only learned a couple of Nat Adderley solos. And again, I'm not going to try to play licks and lines that we associate with Nat Adderley. I'm going to play my lines. But in this case, what I'm actually going to do is I'm really going to try to articulate and have Nat's time feel, which is actually really kind of almost overswung. Sounds amazing. It's not overswung in a bad way, but it's definitely a unique style. So here's a couple of choruses of my discount Nat Adderley. If anybody else tried to play that way, including James Moore, it won't sound nearly as good as how Nat Adderley sounds when he plays. It's such a unique feel, a unique lilt to his style. I just really love it. So my message to you all today is this. When you're working with people in like great teachers like Jeff, or if you happen to not be able to get Jeff and you have to get a discount teacher like James Moore, lots of the time we're going to tell you, learn solos. Learn solos from recordings. Sound just like your heroes when you play those solos. But when you're doing your own improvisation, don't be shy about saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to just try to flip a little switch and say, let my playing for these couple of choruses be inspired by Sonny Stitt. Let my playing for these couple choruses be inspired by Curtis Fuller. And even if you don't sound just like those folks when you're improvising, flipping that little switch in your brain might cause you to play a little bit differently than you normally would. So I'm not saying to do an impersonation of them top to bottom, but try to capture their essence. And I use this a lot of times on gigs if I'm in the middle of a solo and I feel like I'm not happy with what I'm playing, or I feel like I'm in a little bit of a rut. I might just tell myself consciously, this next chorus, James, why don't you try to channel some Kenny Dorham and see what happens? So hopefully you got something out of that, and it gives you something kind of fun to experiment with when you're improvising, when you're playing. And I just really appreciate the chance to hang out with you guys. And again, all this kind of stuff that we're talking about here on J&J on Jazz, you can find it inside Jazzwire. And by the way, check out the link down here at the bottom of the screen. Jeff's always talking about this, and I'm really big on this too. We want you to come and see what's happening behind the paywall in Jazzwire. Click on the link here. You can get access to Jazzwire. It's not an automatic subscription. We want you to come in and check out what's happening here because it's a really great place where players can talk about the things that they're learning when they're immersed in the style of a particular player. Come on here and hang out with me and talk about the things that you hear in different players' styles that make them what they are and are really that fingerprint of that player. So, I've had a great time not having to sit here with Jeff this week and listen to all of his tenor saxophone stuff. It actually makes me jealous. And we'll both be together with you all next week. So wish Jeff luck on his travels back from his saxophone and hairdryer advocacy conference in Manitoba, Canada. And I will see you all next week. Keep playing.